What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Eric, and today, the day has come. Spiral from the Book of Saw is officially in theaters everywhere, and I just got back from checking it out. Now, this is a franchise I love. I reviewed every single movie building up to Spiral, even Jigsaw, which I did not like. That's the latest Saw movie before this one. Did not like it. Hated it, thought it was trash, as I said. Other than that, it's a great franchise, and I love almost every single entry. Didn't really like Saw 3D too much, but it was passable, and it was okay. So I had, I don't know if I'd say high expectations for this one, because obviously I understand it's been a long time. I just don't know what we're going to get, and the last film was not good. Jigsaw was bad. So what are we going to get here? What am I looking for going in? Again, non-spoiler here. All I'm looking for is a good time and a movie. Same thing, pretty much the same thing I said for Jigsaw. Something that I'm okay with being part of the canon. It doesn't have to blow me away completely. Just want something solid. So how do I feel leaving the theater? Did we get something solid, or did we get some garbage like Jigsaw? Basically, is this film better than Jigsaw? Which I said it has to be, right? Yes, it is much better than Jigsaw. This is definitely not the worst in the franchise. You got that going for it. This film definitely has a different tone, a different style, different musical choices. It's completely different. That's expected. This is long removed from the last movies, and I kind of like that because remember, John Kramer's not around anymore. John Kramer's not going to have any influences on these traps. I don't think that's a spoiler. He's been dead for forever. I mean, come on. So there's going to be a different vibe here. That's not to say that there's not some John Kramer references in here, and there are some references to the original films. Not a whole lot, but there are some, obviously, because this is the story of murders happening that are very reminiscent of the old Jigsaw murders a long time ago. So there are some interesting references, but, overall, this is a fresh story. It's kind of a spin-off type movie, different, same universe, but a different case. And Chris Rock is one of the police officers investigating this case, or these cases, I should say, as more and more, unfortunately, police officers are getting taken out. I really love Chris Rock in this film, especially the first part before things really get crazy and he gets really pissed off and it gets serious, because he actually has some interesting humor, just his overall personality. It's not your normal Chris Rock character where he's just throwing, big jokes. They're just kind of just kind of the way he talks, and there's some funny stuff there when the way he's talking to his new partner, who he's not really thrilled to have a partner. The partner's talking about his wonderful family and wife, and Chris Rock talking about, yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, that ain't gonna work out. Some really funny humor there, and I even laughed a couple times. It wasn't like it was modern day stupid humor, just there to have humor. We gotta have humor in a movie nowadays, and it's gonna be like Marvel. No, I'm just a few little things here and early on, and after things got serious, they stopped with that, which is appropriate, because when things are getting serious and everyone's dying and the things are just serious, you don't joke around anymore, which is a problem in a lot of movies and some horror movies that I otherwise would have liked that had too much humor in it. No. I thought the tone was pretty good, even though, yes, stylistically it's going to be a little different. Might be a little jarring because we're used to, every other Saw film. And this one is a little bit different, but I didn't mind that. The traps in this one are pretty cool. I have a couple of issues with at least one of them, and I'll talk about that in my spoiler review. They are definitely creative. I don't think they're amongst the best traps in the franchise, but they're definitely different. You can kind of tell these aren't John Kramer traps. He's got a different way of making traps. He has his own style. He has his own knowledge, and the person who made these traps has a different set of skills and knowledge, but they tried in the same vein as John Kramer to give people a way out. There's supposed to be a way out of these, which is traditionally how a Jigsaw trap works. So it has that going for it. And I'll get more into the traps later, but overall I'd say they're not bad. They're pretty interesting. There's some good gore in here. There's some good horror in here. There's some good edge of your seat moments where you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen here? What's going to happen there? It's definitely a more engaging story. The acting is a lot better than the last couple of films in the franchise. And just overall, it looks like a more professional quality film. Looks like better writing, even though I think it was the same writers from Jigsaw. They did a much better job with this film. Directing was much better with this film. Cinematography looked even better. I like the colors in this film. Some of the spiral work, everything looked pretty damn good. Even using the Saw theme again came into play here, and I enjoyed that. Samuel L. Jackson, was fun to watch. He's always fun to watch. We get to see him yelling a little bit here and there, and he's Samuel L. It is interesting to see someone like Samuel L. and Chris Rock, in a Saw movie, talking about Jigsaw, using these terms because we're just not used to big name stars in these movies. But they did very well, and overall, I just don't have a whole ton of negatives for it, other than what I'm about to talk about. The small things are, like I talked about before, there are a couple of moments where it's a bit jarring because you're so used to something that's always been in the Saw universe, and when this moment comes, it's just so different, and you're like, whoa, that's not what I'm used to. So there's just a few things, even musically and everything. I said I liked it, that it's got a different vibe. I do like it. There's just a couple of instances of things that I don't know if I liked so much. I don't know if I liked. I might be okay with it with time. So honestly, there's only one big negative in this movie, and it is a big mother effer. I already knew exactly who the culprit was within probably 20, 30 minutes. And there was a moment when it became official. And yeah, you could say you didn't know, right? You didn't know. I was like, dude, I would have bet my entire bank account, which only doesn't have that much money, but anyway, that's all I got to bet. I would bet a lot on the fact that it was going to be this particular person. I mean, it was so obvious. They made it so it couldn't be anyone. It's like, oh, well, now I know who it is. And I have to kind of get into the details in the spoiler review to explain how I knew and why it was not very good writing. I don't know. I know it's tough sometimes, and I'll explain all that, why it was a challenge, but they did not do very well with that. And you should have known, with that draft of the script and looked at that and said, look, I think people are going to be able to tell in this moment. It's not going to be a surprise. We need to make it more surprising when they find out, what's going on here. Not to say that at the end there wasn't some twists and turns on the way it ended. I didn't know like every little detail of how it was going to pan out. No, I didn't know that. There were some cool things that happened at the end. It was a pretty cool. The way the last scene was pretty cool. But there are definitely, as far as the main, what was going to happen, the general idea who was going to be behind all this, I knew. I pretty much already knew. And so when it happened, and so the last hour or so of the film, I'm just sitting there like kind of feeling sick to my stomach. Like, you guys ruined it. I already know what's going to happen. Let's let this play out. Please shock me. Nope. Yep. There it is. Yep. There that is. Yep. There that is. Already knew what was going to happen in general. So when it happened, it wasn't a big surprise. And that's the terrible thing for a Saw movie. The twist is one of the big things. And there was really no twist for me. And I'm not saying it'll happen for everybody. You might go see it and not know what's going to happen. But I'm pretty sure at least 50% plus are going to know exactly who the culprit is. It is what it is. So I thought that was a massive fail on, the twist because they made it too obvious. Other than that, it was an enjoyable film. It was solid. It's definitely going to have some rewatchability now that I already know what's going to happen. It's going to be much easier to rewatch. But the initial, viewing in a theater was pretty much ruined because they didn't just to me, poor writing, lazy writing, and it didn't work. So it gave it away. So anyway, that's that, guys. So that's my non-spoiler review of Spiral from the Book of Saw. I'm going to give it a grade in my spoiler review, which is going to be out very soon because I'm about to start doing it right now. So you guys have a great day. Let me know if you've seen it yet, what you thought down below. And can't wait to get into more details on this. The spoiler review is going to be a lot longer. Probably going to come out, a little bit later, hopefully tonight sometime. So keep an eye out for that. You guys have a great day. And we'll talk to you next time.